But first of all, I just want to commend the resilience of these families. It's often said the arc of history bends towards justice, but it doesn't bend by itself. Without the spirit of these families, the courage and determination of these families, we would not be here today. 2 years from the last piece of evidence and 54 years from the incidents in question, these families have never stayed silent, they've never looked away. So I have to commend them, and I have to commend their community as well, who have stayed behind them and who are here to support them today. This community has suffered a litany of atrocities at the hands of the British government. Only streets away from this incident we had the Ballymurphy Massacre in August 71, and 14-year-old Martha Campbell was shot dead in May 1972 at the hands of the British Army. So they are used to these kind of things happening, but this community doesn't look away. They fight for justice, and we've got to where we are today because of that spirit that's alive and well in this community and amongst these families. So I'm going to ask one member from each family to come along and read a short statement. So Betty, on behalf of the McCafferty family, is going to speak first.
Hello. At this time, and for the first time in over 5 decades, my family of David McCafferty has received a formal vindication following the coroner's positive ruling. David McCafferty, who was engaged in a mission of mercy alongside Father Fitzpatrick and Mr. Butler to assist the wounded, has now been unequivocally recognised for his actions on July 9, 1972. This ruling brings a long-awaited clarity and justice to our family and to all those who have lost their loved ones on that tragic day. The passage of 54 years has been marked by profound grief, perseverance and unwavering pursuit of truth. It is with deep regret that my father, David McCafferty, has passed away at the age of 94 2 years ago, and my mother, Nora McCafferty, is also no longer with us. Both dedicated their lives to seeking justice and clearing his name, in a matter of great sorrow that they are now here to witness the outcome of which affirms the truth and is steadfastly upheld despite decades of pain and adversity. While no ruling can undo the loss suffered, it is our hope that the decision will allow our family and the others affected to begin the process of healing. The burden of blame and prejudice that has lingered for so long has now been lifted, and the record has now been set straight. We extend our sincere gratitude to the families of victims, including those of John, Margaret, Mr. Butler and Father Fitzpatrick, as well as the family members who are no longer with us, for their solidarity, resilience and shared the commitment to justice. We also wish to acknowledge the courage of the civilian witnesses who came forward to provide the vital testimony. Our deepest thanks are owed to our legal representatives, KC Michael Mansfield, BEL David Hegarty and Human Rights lawyer Padraig O'Murray, whose expertise and dedication was instrumental in achieving this outcome. Finally, I would like to express my sincere personal gratitude to my cousin Marie, whose steadfast support throughout this entirety of this inquest has been a source of strength for both myself and my late father. Also, I'd like to thank Dee Donnelly, Michael Donnelly, Kieran Keckle and Tommy Holland, our community support workers. We trust that this ruling will stand as a lasting acknowledgement of truth and a measure of justice for all those affected.
Hello, I'm Harry Gargan, brother of Margaret. Thank you all for coming. Today we have sat as Justice Schofield gave his determination of the horrific events that led to the killing of our loved ones at Springhill, Westrock, the 9th of July 1972. He was meticulously and without prejudice went through the events of what occurred that heartbreaking evening for all of our families. If we go back to the statement of the soldier who shot Margaret at the original inquest, the only verdict he could return was unreasonable killing. In this statement, he said he targeted a gunman in Westrock Gardens. The only person killed in Westrock Gardens was Margaret, who was with 3 of her friends. He stated he located a gunman in Westrock Gardens, but chose not to shoot because people were coming out of the community centre. It shows knowledge of what was occurring, but no one came out of the community centre till after Margaret was shot in a clearly targeted kill. The verdict of unjust killing will never end the decades of grief and trauma inflicted on our family. But truth of what happened to our beautiful sister Margaret was always what our late mother and father desired, in search of a new inquest. The British establishment need to recognise this verdict with a genuine, heartfelt and unequivocal apology for the decades of hurt, grief inflicted on all of our families. Thank you.
Well, my name's Jimmy Dougal, a brother of John Dougal. 54 years, we've all heard it before, to get to the truth. Now, we like some justice. 7 people were involved in the killings that night, 7 British soldiers. The British lost their identity. Amazing to us. We want justice and those soldiers to be brought to book for what they've done. I want to thank everyone who helped us in our campaign. The families, I want to thank the community, Relatives for Justice, Time for Truth, our legal team. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you very much.
My daddy's name was Paddy Butler. He was our hero, a quiet, happy-go-lucky man. He was a hard-working, devoted family man whose only joy in life was his family. He was a proud father of 6. He was deeply loved and missed every single day. 54 years ago, my daddy was cruelly taken away from us. My mummy Margaret says the truth would never be told. Today we finish what she began. After a lifetime of fighting, he was finally declared innocent. His only crime was his kindness, helping those who were injured. For that, he was killed and wrongly labelled a gunman. That lie has burdened 3 generations of our family. Our children, after our daddy's killing, we only knew fear. From that day onwards, our family was brutalised and threatened with contempt, leaving a trauma that has never left us. Yet it was our love for our daddy that kept us going. When no one listened, we fought quietly. We were determined that no matter how long it took, his name would be cleared. Not only for us, but for our children and grandchildren who will no longer have to carry this burden. I began this journey in the early 90s. Today I can complete it. And despite every sacrifice and hardship, I would do it again. Today we speak the truth. My daddy was an innocent man. Today we restore his dignity, and today we can finally let him rest in peace. Paddy Butler will always be remembered as he truly was. A loving father, a gentleman, and our hero. Paddy Butler was innocent.
So we're happy to take any questions from myself or any of the family members. Go on ahead.
Guys, can I just ask, do you feel that today you've got closure, and when you were inside there, I mean, how did you feel when you were listening to it all? Were you thinking about your loved ones as well?
Well, this day's been hard fought and hard won. Closure's very hard to measure because it is a very detailed findings, over 640 pages. So we've only got to process a summary. So what we'll need to do, we'll need to reflect as families and then figure out what the next steps are, because each family has a different. For our family, we have no interest in prosecution, so each different narrative for each individual is different.
Anybody else want to say anything?
You know, I feel that I've got closure for my family. We wanted my brother to be declared innocent, and today he was declared innocent. And I'm speaking for my family. We're happy with that.
Is this the end of it, do you think, for you guys? I mean, today we heard the British Army lost control in a number of cases and overreacted to this perceived threat. Is that the end of it for you, or are you happy?
Yeah, well, for me it is, because we don't even know who the British Army are. The soldiers that were supposed to have been there, they were ciphered, and no one knows who they are, and so after 54 years they don't know now. We're hardly going to find out going forward.
Justice Schofield said in his findings that there was a lot of documents buried. These were all buried to hide the identity of these soldiers who killed our loved ones. As for prosecutions, we're not really interested in prosecution, but it is a legal thing. If someone is unjustly killed, it is up to the government whether they want to try to find these people and prosecute them. As for me, it's not a high priority, but I think it belongs to other people to do them things.
Well, the Butler family, all we ever wanted was the truth, and my daddy's being named innocent like he was. So we've never wanted prosecution. We're not interested. All we wanted to rewrite history and let people know that my daddy wasn't a gunman. He was a caring man that was going to help people in need, and we're happy with the outcome today.
The bottom line is there was 5 British citizens murdered on British streets by British soldiers. I personally don't think they should let it go there. I think those soldiers should go to court, be charged for what they done, and then sent home. But that's truth and justice. Today we just got truth. Okay.
Are there any next steps that you're thinking of? I mean, obviously this division are thinking about prosecutions, but is there any next steps?
Okay, I'm going to maybe deal with that. I think you've obviously referred to the statutory duty on the coroner to refer a file to the Director of Public Prosecutions. That's a matter that we've been invited to make submissions on, but ultimately it's a matter for the coroner, and I think the families will, whatever the coroner decides to do, we'll have to deal with that. The other issue is the families have issued a number of years ago civil litigation, and that will proceed. It is stalled. It has been sitting in abeyance pending the outcome of the inquest, and that matter will proceed and later today's findings. So we'll take these findings away and we'll reflect on that, and I will advise them over the next number of weeks whether there are any other steps that can be taken. But that's the immediate issues that we're going to have to address.
Just in terms of this being one of the last legacy inquests that was heard before the deadline, obviously there's a whole lot of negotiations at Westminster about the Legacy Act and what it's going to turn into. Would you say this case is an example of how legacy inquest can get through families?
Well, this. I mean, we've had the previous example of Balmurphy and many others. I mean, we had the recent Desmond Healy inquest. There are many examples of where inquests have been a viable tool for families, and it's precisely for that reason why a guillotine was placed on these legacy inquests. They did work. They were getting a measure of truth for families. And remember, 50 years on, 20 years on, 30 years on, it's difficult to get 100% of the truth, but you can get as great approximation as you can, and the inquest was the best legal tool at the disposal of families. And as I say, it's no accident that has now been stopped by the British government.
What could you remember in the child you?
Well, tá sé an sásta nniu le sin, tá sé céige cethar bliana is, tá sé ag fanacht ar lá mar seo. So tá sé an sásta bé orín lei an rud a leg, but Sheila and Kedrod sa clágan na is na tá sé sásta le sin. Lá mai fan na clán a leg. Any other questions?
Can I say something, please?
Yep.
Today is special because today I stopped looking on some of our loved ones as victims. Patrick Butler, Father Noel, John Dougal and David McCafferty all died going to help people who were already shot. It's time we recognise that these people weren't victims, they were heroes. They were going to their fellow community, trying to look after them, and I think they should never be forgotten.
Can I just come in one? So just in regards to the Legacy Bill, we completely feel that the Legacy Bill is wrong. What we have seen today at Springhill, even after 54 years, it can deliver some measure of truth. There's families out there who are still waiting for some measure of truth, and this is the reason why the British government needs to currently rethink the Legacy Bill. In regards to ICRA can't deliver the detailed narrative findings, and will never get the same sort of closure or recognition or declaration or vindication that our loved ones have got today. So we call on the British government to engage with legacy families and give them hope and prevent them from further re-traumatisation. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? We're happy to do one-on-one interviews to say after this.